The night after December the 7th, the federal agents came in. They wanted the Japanese people. They just questioned everybody, what are you, Chinese or Jap? Chinese or Jap? So I tell them, I'm Chinese, let me see an ID. I gave them the ID, Wang, okay. The two Japanese fellas that I was rooming with, they took them away.
They were rounding up the Japanese for the internment camps. And we were told not to leave Chinatown, and that if we did leave it, that we wore our buttons that proclaimed American Chinese.
December 7, 1941, was a calamity for the American Navy in Honolulu and for Japanese Americans. Perversely, it would be Chinese America's deliverance. For 4 years, China had been at war with Japan. Suddenly, China was our ally. The goodwill spilled over to the Chinese here. Now they were the good Asians.
I could be better life in the service because of civilian. At that time, either laundry or restaurant business. So by going to the service, I could be somebody else.
There was tremendous shortage of labor because most of male went to war.
Here is where the victory is born, in the factories of American industry going full blast.
And so Chinese, for the first time, are able to, in large number, work alongside American workers. And the whites have the opportunity to see the Chinese as real individuals rather than this horrible image of them as aliens. It is a very sad twist of fate that Japanese Americans now are the bad guys, the place that the Chinese used to have.
From San Francisco's huge Chinatown comes a steady flow of patriotic Americans of Chinese descent, eager to register for work in vital wartime industry.
There were 7 shipyards in the Bay Area, and they needed workers to help build ships. So Chinese women ended up, for the first time, taking on jobs like welders and riveters and burners and flangers.
One of my aunts was one of these riveters, and I remember she just gloried in the fact that she was working for good money now.
Patriotic fervor swept through Chinatown. But there were still 15 anti-Chinese laws on the books. What to make of them? They were now an embarrassment among allies. And in 1943, with FDR's support, a bill repealing exclusion sailed through Congress. This historic event barely earned a headline. Even Chinese Americans had other things on their minds.
We were getting ready to be shipped overseas, and I think all of a sudden people were becoming colorblind because suddenly they realized that we're going to really have to hang together or die.
Ark Chin was one of thousands of young replacements thrown into the European front in the winter of '44.
Fear never leaves you. One time we went into a hollow. The guys were tired. They wanted to rest. I said, now guys, let's get the hell out of here. Sure enough, as soon as we got out of there, the mail came in. So after that, I didn't have any problem with my squad. They followed me. So that was a sense of realization that I had become somebody more than I had started with. Coming back, first of all, I survived. Later, back in the restaurant, we went through another one of those incidents where the rednecks said, "We fought goddamn war for you, chinks." I said, "What? I was out there. You know, I fought that war."
Veterans came home with new rights. It wasn't just the GI Bill. Now laws were written to allow them and all Chinese with citizenship to bring in wives. Some 65 years after the Exclusion Act, the Chinese here could lead lives that others took for granted. They could become naturalized like other immigrants, could live together like other families. Bachelor society was dying at last.
Chinese mothers present their youngsters in this Chinatown baby parade at San Francisco.
Our children, we sense, been born into a new era. I did not kid myself that still there would be roadblocks. Yeah, it was going to be a struggle, but what the hell, that's life.